The cost of living expected to climb even higher. The grim news from the central bank governor on the inflationary rate creeping up to 5%. And an alleged suicide claiming the life of a young man and leaving a family in mourning. Plus, breaking his silence, the NEMA director finally addressing that political controversy with the House Speaker. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Residents can expect a continual rise in prices as the central bank is reporting the inflationary rate is creeping up to 5%. The rise comes as the United States is projecting a recession in the coming months, but central bank governor John Rowles says that doesn't necessarily mean a contraction for the local economy. Bethany McDermott reports.
As Bahamians continue to feel the brunt of rising prices, Central Bank Governor John Rowles says the local inflationary rate is creeping up to 5%. His comments follow an IMF World Economic Outlook report, which revealed inflation is expected to remain stubbornly high, adding a return to normalcy isn't expected until 2024.
The average inflation rate in the Bahamas will continue to move a bit higher in the near term. Right now, the official estimates have been placing the Bahamian inflation rate below 5%.
This, Rowles says, is still significantly higher than the last 2 years. Back in April, the IMF projected consumer prices in the Bahamas will increase by 7.3% this year. The central bank governor adding that BPL's decision to absorb costs has contributed to a slower rise in inflationary rates.
Since we are importing largely goods that originated in the U.S., that we are going to see more of that reflected in our prices. Where we've had some hold off, I believe, in the Bahamas is for a while the pass-through to electricity costs has not been as direct as in the past.
And with U.S. economists predicting a mild recession this year, Rowles is saying it doesn't necessarily mean a contraction in the local economy.
But we should understand that growth has been downgraded in terms of the outlook for economies globally, and the Bahamas is no exception.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
Governor Rowles reaffirming the central bank is keeping its eye on commercial banks' tax compliance. His comments come after the Federal Court of Canada mandated the Royal Bank of Canada in the Bahamas reveal the owners of multiple offshore accounts. This as officials in Canada are looking to ensure the clients have paid Canadian taxes.
I can assure you that in our supervisory approach, we do pay very close attention to how financial institutions are operating with their clients in terms of the compliance that those clients are expected to meet against their obligations in their respective home jurisdictions.
In other news, we're following a tragic story tonight. Police are on the scene where the body of a child has been found in waters in Yellow Elder in the area of the golf course. Our news can confirm that kids were reportedly playing in the area near the sports complex when they discovered the lifeless body of a child. We understand one of the children told a parent who then contacted police. Police searched the area, confirming it is the lifeless body of a toddler. This is a developing story that we're following. Get the latest now at Our News Bahamas on Facebook. Meanwhile, the alleged drowning of a woman in North Andros is also being investigated. Police on the island say the incident reportedly happened shortly after 1 p.m. this afternoon. Preliminary reports say a family of 3 was swimming in waters in the Stanyard Creek area when a child became distressed. A woman attempted to assist the child, however, she too became distressed. Police say a male relative was able to rescue the child. However, the woman was found unresponsive a short time later. The victim was taken to the local clinic where she was pronounced dead. Also, police are tonight investigating reports of an alleged suicide in the Carmichael Road area. Police tell Our News that initial information suggests the male victim, who they say is in his early 20s, was found hanging with a sheet around his neck shortly after 11 this morning. EMS personnel responded and pronounced him dead on the scene. As investigations continue into this latest tragedy, police are encouraging members of the public who may know someone struggling with thoughts of suicide to contact the Community Counseling and Assessment Center at 323-3293 or the Bahamas Crisis Center at 328-0922 or 322-4999. And it was another hot day in the capital today. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with the latest.
Thanks, Christina, and welcome everybody for our first look at weather on this beautiful Tuesday evening. Pretty nice outside, still on the warm side though. Temperatures in the mid-80s under mostly clear skies. Your winds are out of the east-northeast at 7 miles per hour, and your feels-like temperature hanging out around in the upper 80s. Satellite view, quiet across the islands. We do have a little bit of an upper-level disturbance just to the north of Grand Bahama that sparked a few isolated showers across the extreme northwest Bahamas. But all in all, beautiful skies, hot temperatures today, managed to get up near the 90-degree mark, and we're looking at some quiet night. Could see a couple isolated showers. Another upper level low will be moving into our neck of the woods sometime by the middle of the week. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
When our news comes back from the break, the man police believe killed a 4-year-old Kenton Seymour Jr. is behind bars. Plus, the NEMA director speaks out for the first time on the House controversy. Stay with us. A man who police say killed 4-year-old Kenton Seymour Jr. during a shooting at Fleming Street was today denied bail. 23-year-old Shanton Scumdum Munro of Rupert Dean Lane faces charges of murder, attempted murder, and possession of a firearm with the intent to endanger life, stemming from the July 26th incident. Prosecutors allege that Munro was chasing Deshano Joseph when the car little Kenton and his parents were in was hit by bullets intended for Joseph. Munro is charged with the toddler's murder and the attempted murders of his parents, Kenton Seymour Sr. and Norma Smith, as well as the attempted murder of Joseph. Additionally, Munro is accused of having a firearm to endanger the lives of the survivors of the shooting. Munro was not required to enter pleas to the charges when he appeared before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt. Despite this, Munro told the magistrate he was innocent. He's expected to return to court on December 7th. Munro will remain in custody unless he's granted bail by a Supreme Court judge. And a man who allegedly killed his friend by mistake has been charged with murder and the attempted murders of their intended targets. 26-year-old Miguel Lewis of Lincoln Boulevard South is accused of the July 25th murder of Ken Lewis Jr. Prosecutors allege both men opened fire on Donald Cox, Leander Cox, Marquin Williams, and Randy Mackey while they sat in front of a yard on Pigeon Plum Street in Pinewood Gardens. The men, who are all on bail for murder, ran for cover. However, once the gunfire stopped, Ken Lewis lay dead in the street, allegedly a victim of friendly fire. Miguel Lewis was denied bail when he appeared before Magistrate Samuel McKinney today. He returns to court on October 11th. Meanwhile, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville says the Davis administration is getting closer to obtaining monkeypox vaccines. Dr. Darville says those monkeypox vaccines are slated to come in a few months with the help of the Pan American Health Organization.
I cannot say the exact time, but apparently it's going to become sooner than later. The amount, cannot say the amount, but we want to thank PAHO, who's working not only with the Bahamas, but throughout the region to ensure that we have vaccines for those who fall in a particular high-risk group. It's important to note that the approach with vaccination is not the same as COVID-19, and we will be revealing the way how we're going to deal with it in short order.
Dr. Darville explains there will be robust screening and training. He previously indicated health officials are working with PAHO to secure vaccines for monkeypox. As for when those vaccines will become available, Dr. Darville had this to say.
We are definitely in the community. We are presently starting consultations with those at the border, customs, immigration, some of our uniformed individuals, and pretty much reaching out to high-risk groups in the tourism sector, and the list goes on and on. So we're working very closely with PAHO. We realize that it's important for us to stay on top of it.
When our news comes back from the break, the Grand Bahama Port Authority responds to Gold Rock pulling out. But first, the NEMA director speaks out on a contentious issue brought up in the House of Assembly. Plus, Forever Us comes to Nassau. We'll tell you how to catch the hot stage show when our news returns. This is our news. Welcome back. The National Emergency Management Agency Director breaking his silence on a matter that caused the House of Assembly Speaker to heavily chastise him and the organization he leads. He speaks with our Sasha Lightbourne.
I had senior citizens at the age of 80 who had live wires, electrical wire hanging, and also no roof and no electricity last night. They had to go to bed with such damage done to their house. And what I can say is we had the team on the ground, but NEMA was not present.
That was the House Speaker back in June following a weather system that passed over New Providence, bringing torrential rain and some tornadic activity. The House Speaker, who's also the Bamboo Town MP, maintained that as a result of the weather, some members of her constituency were impacted. Today, NEMA Director Captain Stephen Russell addressing the matter, reiterating that NEMA made the appropriate checks and balances.
The statement that we put out is the actual facts. I went through it. We went through it from the time we got the alarm in reference to the tornado to our agency's, on partner agency response up to almost midnight. It came out exactly as was presented.
And while Captain Russell did not want to focus too much on the issue, he did share this.
The country heard her. My regional partners, 23 or more countries in the Caribbean, they called me on the matter. They heard her. International partners heard her as well. The Speaker's chair is a powerful chair. I need that chair, the voice of the Speaker's chair.
Now, Captain Russell says that there's no love lost between him and the House Speaker. He says once the matter was sent to his minister, that's Miles Laroda, who serves as the Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, that brought the matter to an end. Reporting for our news, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
Shifting gears now, the war of words continuing between Gold Rock and Grand Bahama and the Grand Bahama Port Authority. The GBPA firing back on Monday following Gold Rock's statement announcing the impending closure of the business that has been a part of the Grand Bahama community for over 30 years. Now the GBPA is insisting the move is unnecessary and those affected deserve the facts. Natalia Hall reports.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority slamming the move by Gold Rock, saying it will cause hardworking families in Grand Bahama their livelihoods. In a press statement released on Monday, the GBPA claims that the Delzato family fell short of the amount of aggregate they were contractually required to. The GBPA says as a result, a new contract was proposed by the Grand Bahama Development Company, DevCo. The GBPA says regardless of the Delzato's stance on the mining contract, there is no need to shut down the other businesses in Freeport, such as the hardware and furniture store, which the GBPA claims were totally unaffected by the Gold Rock negotiations. Meanwhile, member of the Grand Bahama business community Darren Cooper says the closure of Gold Rock is a huge concern for most residents.
This is going to be a huge blow for Grand Bahama yet again. I asked the simple question, where is our government? Because this is going to significantly impact what I believe the government is working towards. This is going to hurt. This is going to put many other Grand Bahamians on the unemployment.
Leader of the opposition Michael Pintard also expressing concern, highlighting the fact that there are supply chain issues globally and insisting that the matter requires the attention of the government. Pintard revealing that he did reach out to the nation's leader who agreed to intervene.
We fully expect that today he is talking with his cabinet colleagues, and we are prepared in the opposition to be helpful to the Prime Minister as he has intervened in this matter.
Now Pintard is calling on the entities involved to sit down and have a conversation. As he says, at the end of the day, it is the people of Grand Bahama who will suffer from the closure of Gold Rock.
We believe the owners of the company ought to be reasonable in their considerations and negotiations, and the Port Authority ought to be reasonable in their position.
Reporting for our news, I'm Natalia Hall.
Still ahead on our news tonight, a Grand Bahama stage play comes to Nassau. How you can watch it is straight ahead. And temperatures tipping over 90 degrees today. Our Greg Thompson is back in the Weather Center with our extended outlook. Stay with us. Welcome back to our news. Possible thunderstorms moving through the area. Greg is back in the Weather Center with a look ahead.
Thanks again, Christine, and welcome back everybody for our second look at weather. High pressure remains in firm control of our weather. That's keeping us pretty nice. There is some Saharan dust out there, so if you have any respiratory ailments or dust bothers you, we're asking you to remain inside. We're going to still continue to see some Saharan dust across our area. But that ridge of high pressure will continue to dominate at the surface. A couple of upper level disturbances, one just to the north of the Bahamas, triggering a few showers across the extreme northern islands, and another one that's approaching us from the east. That should get in our neck of the woods sometime by the middle of the week. And then by the end of the week, we do expect another surge in some moisture. So we could see an uptick in some showers across our area, but all's quiet across our area. The tropics, very quiet right now. That Saharan dust suppressing most of the activity across the tropical belt, and tropical cyclone formation is not expected over the next 5 days. Boating forecast, if you plan on doing that in the northwest and central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow, winds will be easterly at 10 to 15 knot seas, running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Your high tide will be at 11:52 tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, a little stronger easterly wind flow at 15 knots, seas running 3 to 5 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your 7-day forecast, quiet weather once again across the area. That disturbance getting in here by the end of the week, so we see an uptick in some shower activity for Friday, possibly even into Saturday. But all in all, that high pressure ridge will remain in control at the surface over the next several days. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks, Greg. Well, after 3 sold-out nights in Freeport, Grand Bahamian Theater Company, quote, Out of the Ashes Entertainment is back in Nassau this weekend with their newest play, Forever Us. The playwright and creator of Forever Us spoke with our Marlena Leonard this afternoon, hinting at the stories and experiences audiences can expect this weekend.
For one weekend only, St. John's will be the home to the hottest play in the country. We caught up with the creators of the play to talk about the twists, the turns, their favorite characters, and why they tell stories like this.
I think Bahamian stories are so important to tell. Honestly, this is kind of one of those hard topics for me, because I think people think when something is our own, that it's not the standard, it's not good enough. And that always kind of gets to me. People want to see themselves on stage.
Gia Pierre and Patrice Johnson are big names in the Bahamian theater scene. Pierre's Crazy Love series, Crazy Love 1, 2, and 3, ran over 50 nights, and her more recent show, Friends with Benefits, sold out 19 times in Freeport and 6 times in Nassau. Pierre's newest play, Forever Us, is her first play since the COVID-19 pandemic put a stop to large gatherings.
We opened in Freeport, which was scary for us because the climate, still in the middle of pandemic, so we didn't know if people would come, and they came out in droves.
Forever Us director Patrice Johnson is particularly excited by the amount of theater newcomers in the production.
Because I was a little set back, God, these are new people, they've never been on stage before, but honestly and truly, they have rose to the occasion. Yeah, when you get here, you're gonna see.
Pierre's plays are known to be demanding on the cast, but Pierre says her unconventional methods bring sensational results.
We go very hard. It's 3 months of your life that we map out in constant rehearsals, constant voice rehearsals, meeting, chemistry reads, chemistry rehearsals. So our goal is to bring Bahamian theater with kind of a Broadway feel.
Pierre says the play was born from fans asking her if her couples could ever be happy. In Forever Us, she works to answer this question while promising, quote, scandalously good fun, including love triangles, exes returning, and couples working to survive life's ups and downs. Forever Us is on this weekend, August 6th and 7th. You can buy tickets online at islanddreamsmanagement.com/forever-us or physically at the Dundas box office. Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Thanks, Marlena, and thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.